features. In this lesson, today's topic, what are the major relief divisions of India? In that Himalayas topic. Okay? Right. So let us start now. What are the major relief divisions of India? So there are 6 major relief divisions are there in India. Look at here. So what are the 6 major relief divisions are there? First one, Himalayas, and second one, Indo-Gangetic Plain, and third one is the Peninsular Plateau region, and fourth one it is the coastal plains, and fifth one it is the Indian desert, means our desert area, and last one the islands. Now discuss about Himalayas. Okay, Himalayas stretches from west-east direction, form an arc with the length of 2,400 kilometers. So what is the width of the Himalayas? Width of the Himalayas differ from 500 kilometers to 200 kilometers. Okay, the 500 kilometers in the central part of the Himalayas, and 200 kilometers the width, it is in the central and eastern part of the Himalayas. Okay, Himalayas comprised of, there are 3 parallel ranges. First one, Himadri, Himachal, next one, Shivaj. Once again, Himadri, Himachal, and Shivaj. Himadri ranges, it is also known as Greater Himalayas. Himachal ranges, also known as Lesser Himalayas. And Shivalis is also known as Outer Himalayas. These Himalayan ranges are separated by valleys and plateaus. Okay? Now, discuss about Himadri ranges. Himadri range is also known as Greater Himalayas. So what is the average height of this Himadri ranges? 6,100 meters. So it is located in the northernmost region of Himalayas. Himadri ranges located in the northernmost ranges of Himalayas. It composed of snow and ice cover. Snow and ice cover. And next, glaciers formed or appear in this region. What is the use of glaciers? The glaciers are main source of the perennial rivers. The water of the glaciers is main source of the perennial rivers. And next, highest peaks are located in this region. Highest peaks. What are the highest peaks in the world? Which is the highest peak in the world? Mount Everest. It is located in the Himadri ranges. And next, highest peak in India. Which one it is? Actually, K2 is the highest peak in India, but it is located in the present POK region. POK means Pak Occupied Kashmir. So, present Kanchenjunga is the highest peak in India. So, these are the highest peaks. It is located in this Himadri ranges only. Understood? So, right. Now, we'll go to that next topic, Himachal ranges. Himachal ranges, also known as Lesser Himalayas. It is located in Himachal ranges, located in the south of the Himadri ranges. What is the average height of this Himachal ranges? 3,700 meters to 4,500 meters. Okay, and it's mostly composed of rugged surface and compressed of the rocks. In this region, important ranges. What are the important ranges in this region? Pir Panjal and Mahabharat ranges are the important ranges in the Himachal ranges. Okay, Pir Panjal, it is located in Jammu and Kashmir. Mahabharat ranges means what? Mountains. Mahabharat ranges located in the Nepal region or Nepal country. Okay, so these are the important ranges. Next one, in this region, famous hill stations and famous valleys are there in this region. What are the famous hill stations in this region? You know, Shimla, Ooty, Nainital, Ranikhet. So these are the famous hill stations in this region. Means in that Himachal region. Next, important valleys. What are the famous valleys are located in this region? Kashmir, Kulu, Kangra. These are the valleys, important valleys there. So in these valleys, they grow most number of fruits. Okay, Kashmir Valley, it's located in Kashmir region, Jammu and Kashmir. Kulu Kangra, it is in Himachal Pradesh. Most of the Himachal ranges, mostly in that part of Himachal Pradesh. Himachal ranges covered with evergreen forest. Okay, so next in that Shivaliks. Shivaliks known as Outer Himalayas. And what is the average elevation of this region? 900 meters to 1100 meters. Next, what is the width of this ranges? 10 kilometers to 50 kilometers width is there. And now, southernmost ranges of Himalayas, known as Shivaliks, also known as Outer Himalayas, and northernmost ranges of Himalayas, known as Himadri. And very important one, easternmost boundary of Himalayas, Brahmaputra Valley. Understood? Right. Now coming to this, Shivaliks consist of thick gravel and alluvial. Okay. Next one is some dunes are appear in this region. Dunes. What is called dune? The valleys lying between the Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks, known as dunes. D-U-N-S. Dunes. Okay. So next one it is Shivaliks, called as Purvanchal Shivaliks means this number of hill stations and hill areas there, so which are mostly lies in the northeastern parts. So that's why it's called as Purvanchal ranges. So northeastern divisions are known as Purvanchal divisions or Purvanchal mountains. Understood? So next, it composed of mostly that Purvanchal ranges composed of sedimentary rocks and sand. Okay, sandstones. So now we'll discuss about the greatness of Himalayas. Here in that Purvanchal ranges are also called different names. Purvanchal ranges means different hill areas. They called in different areas in different names. Jammu Hills and Naga Hills in Nagaland, Manipur Hills in Manipuri, Patkai Hills. So these are different names there in the Purvanchal mountains. So now discuss about the greatness of Himalayas. Very important question is influence this Himalayas. Now we'll discuss about the greatness of Himalayas. The Himalayas influence the Indian climatic conditions. And next, summer rains and monsoons are mainly caused by Himalayas only. Okay. Next, Himalayas act as a barriers protecting from the plains, protecting the plains from the Himalayas act as a barriers protecting the plains of India from the cold winds from Central Asia. Understood? Next, in these Himalayas, perennial rivers are there, and valleys are there, and hill stations also there. You know that the rivers, very important rivers, perennial rivers, is the main source of the Himalayas only. It always flow throughout the year. That's why it's known as perennial rivers. It's very useful for agriculture also. The water of the perennial rivers like Ganga, Brahmaputra. Okay. Next, here it is valleys. The valleys are very important. Mostly different kind of fruits are grown in these valleys. And Himalayas slopes also used for cultivation of different plantations like tea, coffee, different kinds of plantations there. And hill stations also used for tourism development. Summer resorts there. Understood? Suppose if the Himalayas are absent, what would happen? What we discussed. So these are all with absent only. Means what it is? If the Himalayas are absent, so there is no summer rains, there is no monsoons. We influence the cold winds. If the Himalayas are absent, cold winds come to our India during winter season. Cold winds blowing from Central Asia. So it may be India will be a cold desert. Understood? So there is no perennial source of the rivers. Absence of perennial rivers due to absence of Himalayas. And next one is Indian climatic conditions totally changed. So India became as a desert. Understood? We are going to learn about Indo-Gangetic Plain. Indo-Gangetic Plain is also known as Northern Plains in India. How it was formed that? Indo-Gangetic Plain is mainly formed by the interaction of Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra and its tributaries. Initially, means at the beginning of that, it was a shallow basin there. So it was gradually filled by the rivers brought some gravel and alluvial soil. Okay? That Indo-Gangetic Plain is dividing into three parts. One is western part, another one central part, next eastern part. Western part is mainly responsible for Indus and its tributaries. Indus River. Most of the Indus River is located in Pakistan region and minor part it is in India, Punjab and Haryana. What are the tributaries of Indus? Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Satluj. Among these, Satluj is the biggest one, biggest tributary. Okay? In this western part, Doab feature appears. What is Doab? Look at the board. The fertile land between the two rivers is known as Doab. Central part is mainly responsible by Ganga and its tributaries. Ganga is formed by the two important rivers, Alakananda and Bhagirathi. These two rivers are joined at Devaprayaga. So there it is onwards. It's called Ganga river. Okay. So what are the tributaries of Ganga? So there are two types there, left bank tributaries and right bank tributaries. The Ganga river flows through Haryana, UP, Jharkhand, Bihar and West Bengal area. Okay. Now eastern part of Indo-Gangetic Plain. It is mainly responsible of Brahmaputra river and its tributaries. So where it is the originating place of Brahmaputra? Chiamyangdong Glacier of Kailasa ranges. It enters in India. Brahmaputra river enters India first in Assam area. It's called Siang. In the plains, it's known as Dihang. After that, it enters into Assam Valley. It's called as Dibang and Lohit. So two tributaries are joined in that place, Dibang and Lohit. In this region, some important features are appears in that. Himalayan rivers flowing down deposit gravel and sediments in narrow belt of 8 to 16 kilometers with found in parallel to the foothills of Shivaliks. So this feature is known as Babar. Babar. Babar means it is a old alluvial plain. Another one, Kadar also there. Kadar means what? It's known as new alluvial plain. It's known and newly formed. It means newly formed. So next one. In this region, Terai region also appears. Terai region means it's known as marshy and swampy region or zone. It's known as Terai zone. In that, now Terai region is not there. It has been changed into agriculture activities. Okay? Thank you. మరిన్ని వీడియోస్ కోసం మా ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి అండ్ ఫైనల్లీ క్లిక్ ఆన్ ది బెల్ ఐకాన్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.